Welcome to Philosotalks. I'm here with Janice. Thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
I just had a couple questions about philosophy and spirituality.
Well, I was raised Catholic, so I was an altar server and everything every Sunday, going to church with family. Didn't really get anything out of that as I was growing up. It wasn't until February 2006 is when I became a born again Christian and learned more about the Word and learned more about having God in my life. Just more of the knowledge and just everything else in my life that changed because of it made me more spiritual.
Wow. Okay, so like within the Catholic religion, you say you went to church. Would you say more often than you do now, or?
No, it was just once a week, and it's because I had to. I really didn't want to.
Right. So going to church because you had to doesn't really make you spiritual.
Right.
If someone's making you do it, it's not in your own.
Exactly.
So becoming a born again Christian and like kind of basically labeling yourself a little differently, how did that really change things for you?
I think more of it was that I understood it more.
Just now,
I was older. I'm older now, so I understood everything that they're saying versus things they're just throwing at me. I didn't pay attention as much maybe say in the Catholic Church, but also my willingness to accept Christ more. And like I said, because I was older, I went through a lot more life experiences than I had when I was younger. So all these things were starting to make sense why it was happening in my life.
I think that anyone who grows up is going to be, grow in understanding of spirituality, no matter what their path is.
Right.
And so a lot of young people are kind of leaving religion behind and feeling they understand more about spirituality without the church. Have you experienced this at all, or is it still the church that kind of has most to do with your spirituality?
For me, the church is what holds me down. The church, like, more knowledge of it and the people there, my support. If I were to leave the church, I think I would be less spiritual because I'm not being fed that all the time. Kind of just like gradually goes away.
Yeah. So the church is kind of a place where you can gain insight into like the knowledge of God and stuff like that.
Right.
So that brings us to the next question. What is God to you?
To me, God is, our creator. He's the one who made us for specific purposes. And God is someone who we go to when we need help, someone that is actually leading us to where we're supposed to be. He's the one that, never lets us down when everyone else will. Just someone we can look up to, always.
Obviously, like, spirituality is kind of on another realm.
Right.
It's not in the physical realm. So in the spiritual realm, how do you kind of envision this like spiritual side of things? Is it kind of just energy that flows through you? Kind of like we were talking about with your friend that, when you feel excited or emotional, is this when you feel very spiritual? Or like you said, when you're in church, you feel more spiritual? What do you think is going on inside of you?
To me, I guess that would be described as like, like soda, like the carbonation inside.
Bubbly.
And if you keep on shaking, bubbly. And if you keep on shaking, it's going to explode.
Would you say kind of lighter?
Lighter, but then I get like a warmer feeling.
Warmer.
Yes. I get a warmer feeling, but then I feel like the bubbly, carbonation. Yes.
Kind of like, and through kind of like chills down your spine sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's that whole feeling that you get,
It's been, I've done some research also about like, to fill yourself up with God kind of is all you really need. And you can kind of, just make yourself feel better no matter what your daily experiences are. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, you mean like a fountain? Like you can always turn it on and off?
Yeah. I mean, if you can have the ability to turn on the inflow of spiritual energy or God's love.
Yeah.
It's like all you really need. We have to sustain our physical bodies, but like it's the source of all happiness or whatever.
Yes, I believe that.
Yeah. What about when you're connecting with other people, say in a community or in your church, and more people are on that spiritual level? Everyone's kind of feeling bubbly, warm. Describe that feeling in a group.
In a group, it would have to be because that happens every Sunday at church when we're all worshiping. So it's in the music and everything. You can just feel the whole. I guess you could say you can feel the whole presence of everyone. Yeah, it's like when you have when you can feel someone's tense. You go into a room and everyone's all tense.
Yes.
And it's like awkward.
You can feel it.
Yes, it's the exact same thing.
Do you think that's a spiritual realm when you can feel someone's energy if they're tense? I mean, obviously it has a little bit to do with facial expressions.
Right.
But do you think that there's something more to it?
I think so. It's when people say, "Oh, your aura is kind of,"
Exactly.
it's what you're putting off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you mean? If you're happy, people see that. Not just your expression, but they'll feel it. It comes out to them. You know?
Yeah, it's something to be spiritual and kind of connect with someone else spiritually. You can feel their aura, their energy, or
Yes.
their, whatever they are feeling at that moment.
Right.
And when more than 3 or 4 or 5, 10 people are all in the same kind of spiritual,
It's even stronger.
it's stronger.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? What would you think would happen if everyone in the world was on a higher spiritual level, connected, and like we all love each other? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think that would be like?
Oh my gosh, that would be great.
Do you think that's almost the purpose of us to try to fulfill? Or do you think it's not possible?
No, well, I don't want to say it's impossible, you know, but there are going to be those who doubt, you know. But if we were to have all of that, there would be less negativity.
So much.
You know, so much less negativity, which means, you know, less violence, less crime, less of all the
All of our problems go away.
Yeah, less worries, less stress.
Less war, less guns, less
know?
killing.
Exactly.
Yeah.